Good morning and welcome, Howard, to the show. You are actually the world's fastest reader, according to Guinness Book of Records, back from 1990, a record that hasn't been broken yet. Back then, you read, how much was it, 80 pages per minute?
Yes, 80 to 90, depending on the number of words on the page.
It's so impressive. When did all of this fast reading begin for you?
I grew up in Brooklyn, and it's a place internationally renowned for people with good diction, like myself. I found the safest place to play was the library, because there were a lot of gangs, and gang kids don't go to libraries. They still don't go to libraries. You ever been in a bookstore or library and felt threatened? It won't happen. So I read a lot. I read well. I read books on physics and mythology when I was 7 or 8. By the time I was 12 years old in 6th grade, I was at the college level. And then I went to university, went to State University, New York, Binghamton, majored in bio. In my junior year, I got interested in the brain and decided to do a 4-year psych program in 1 year. The dean said, you can't, you're not smart enough, you have to do 6 science courses at the same time. And that's when I realized they don't teach you how to learn at work or school. And I learned the secret for learning in school and got up to 80 pages a minute and got an 800 on the graduate record exam in biology by reading 48 books in 3 nights, like cytology and cell physiology. And now I teach it. And I'm really excited to see people as young as 9 learn it and as old as 94.
And this technique, you're going to actually try to learn us a little bit about this technique later, but did you teach it to yourself?
Yes. And everyone watching there is going to get about 10-20% faster while we're on the air.
I hope so.
Yes.
Howard, allow me to test you. Would that be okay?
Sure.
All right, listen.
My owl glasses on.
I got this book. We're not going to test you in Danish, but this is a Danish book about Danish history. It's called En fortælling om Danmark i det 20. århundrede.
I read it.
You didn't read it. You didn't read it. You actually read like 30,000 books in your whole life.
Yes, I have.
This is one of those you
Not
did
one
read.
of them. This will be 30,001.
I got 20 pages from this book in English.
Perfect.
And I'm going to ask you to read these 20 pages.
Okay.
And we're going to watch out for how long time you will spend reading these 20 pages on Denmark in the Cold War. Is that okay?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
I'm still jet lagged, but I think I can do it. Okay.
Have fun.
Okay, let's just first get the pages so they turn.
Okay.
That's the first thing you need. Okay. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So,
Right after.
I mean, it looks crazy, but okay, tell me please, what did you read?
Around 1945, the Communist Party had an edge in the elections, and there was a big concern over Denmark going communist, particularly in the Cold War. And the U.S. was increasing its presence in Greenland at the time because it was so close to Russia, and Denmark was a strategically located country, and the Marshall Plan was critical and tipping it more towards the West instead of towards the Russian.
Howard, I believe you. You actually read these 20 pages.
Yes.
Do you keep all the details, or is it I mean, how
You could ask me 10 years from now, I'd still remember it.
And, I mean, in your life, you're 65 years old. You've read
Yes.
more than 30,000 books. I mean,
Yes.
it's more than a book per day in average ever since the day you were born. How do you actually store all of this information? Or
Yes.
do you tend to forget some of it?
Well, you don't want to remember all of that. One of the keys in learning is knowing what's important. Most people spend too much time focusing on irrelevant information, and they don't have the time they need to learn relevant information. One of the first things I teach in my program is, what is it you need to know? And if you're a student, it's the answers to the questions on the test. Not what's in the book, but what's on the test is what's important. If you know that, you get an A. If you don't, you don't get an A. In business, it's knowing what the customers and clients and the people running the company need you to know. And so we spend so much time learning, but it's not really learning. We measure learning by how many hours we read or how many pages we read instead of what we actually understand and able to use. Much more important.
Could you teach me some of your technique
Sure.
right here, right now?
Absolutely.
So what do I have to do?
Well, why do we read slowly? When we're in a car, we're going 70 miles an hour, and we're reading front, back, left, and right. No problem. The reason we read faster in a car when we read the road than in a book at 200 words a minute, which is the mode, is in a car, we see a movie. Everything is like a picture, and you're picturing in your imagination where everybody is. In a book, you're reading one word at a time. You're literally hearing with your eyes. I'm going to show you how to start seeing a movie in the book. You're going to use your left hand, and you're going to go for 1 minute before you actually start. You're going to go for a minute in a book that you know, and time yourself with a smartphone or a watch and see how far you go. And then take a pen or pencil and mark off so you know how much you can do in a minute. Now here's the secret sauce. Take your left hand, go one line at a time from the left to the right margin, one line at a time, with your eye following your hand as quickly as you could comprehend. And keep speeding up till you don't know what you're reading and you find your ceiling. And then slow down just enough so your comprehension comes back. And you practice for about 2 to 5 minutes going at that speed. When you're done, go back to where you initially tested yourself for 1 minute. And this time, using your hand, read for a minute. And you'll be amazed. You're going to go 10, 15, 20% further than you did in the first minute simply by using the hand, which makes your eye work more like a camera and less like an ear.
Yeah, because, I mean, I already, even though it's slow
Even
because
now,
I'm concentrating,
yes.
I actually get more words than when I read every single word.
Absolutely.
But I don't understand why.
Because what you're doing is using a different part of your brain. When we normally read, the part of the brain that's reading is the part of the brain that talks. When you're doing this, we're turning on a more visual part of the brain that can take in more imagery. And we're taking in the information more like a movie and less like a conversation.
This is weird.
It's very easy to learn.
It is actually easy to learn.
Easy
oh my
to
God.
learn.
Okay, I'm going to be like this tonight with my novels at home.
Yes.
Honestly, can anybody get as good as you?
My youngest student was 9, 5 seconds a page, 9 years old, and my oldest was 94.
Howard Berg, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.